If you meet any particular year's topper, they will tell you that ethics plays a very important role in final selection in this examination. If you look at the mark sheets of the previous year toppers as well, you will find that most of the toppers have done extremely well in this paper. In fact, this is perhaps the high scoring paper, or perhaps one of the most highly scoring papers in UPSC Civil Services examination. But despite that, I often encounter questions from students with respect to how to approach ethics as a subject. It seems to be perhaps the most confusing and the most challenging subject for a lot of aspirants preparing for this examination. Let me talk about what are the significant challenges which are faced by the candidates as far as the ethics paper is concerned. And I'm going to be specifically focusing on the ethics and governance portion that I take up usually in the classes. But the idea is to give you a broad sense of the subject of ethics as well. The first challenge that I have seen often in the answers of the candidates, or one big challenge that they face, is that there is no consolidated or standard source for ethics. There is no particular book or there is no specific source that you can refer which can completely cover all the ends for you as far as ethics is concerned. The second challenge that I have particularly seen in preparation for the candidates, and when I have seen a number of answer copies, is that their answers look more like summaries of GS1, GS2, GS3. There are hardly any ethical dimensions which are usually written in the answers by the candidates. And because of that, their answers may be good for general studies paper 2 from the perspective of polity or governance. Their answers may be good from the perspective of society, but their answers are not good from ethical perspective. We'll talk about how do we address these particular challenges, but I'm initially talking about some of these challenges which are faced by the candidates. The third challenge that I have usually seen is that candidates end up using terminology or terms like integrity, compassion, objectivity in their answers in a very casual manner. Often there is lack of context, often there is lack of conceptual clarity as to which particular value should be invoked in which particular question or in which case study. Loosely throwing around terms like objectivity, integrity, compassion is not going to award you marks in the ethics paper. The other challenge that I usually see in the answers for the ethics is the lack of real life examples. Students write a lot of dimensions in their answers, but they lack real life examples. They also lack the application based aspect of those particular concepts which they have talked about in their answers. And last, and perhaps the most important, is that students don't have any practice of writing the answers to the case studies or the theoretical questions in section A of the paper in a timely manner. There is no timed practice which is carried out by the candidate. So there is lack of timed practice, because of which we have often seen in the past many candidates end up making the cardinal sin of leaving questions in the ethics paper. Now, These are some of the challenges, and I'm sure that naturally you would ask that how do we address these particular challenges? What our approach should be to address these challenges if we have to truly secure good marks in ethics examination? See, what you have to understand is that ethics is not just another subject where you read piles of information and knowledge and put that in your paper and make your paper laden with a lot of statistics and information and you will get marks. Ethics is a paper that is about you. Ethics is a paper where your thoughts and your understanding of the real life situations is being evaluated by UPSC. How do we address these challenges is therefore very crucial. Let me talk about that as well. The first thing which I feel you all need to do if you have to prepare well for the ethics portion is thematic analysis, which essentially means referring previous year questions from 2013 onwards and figuring out which are the highest scoring themes as far as the ethics paper is concerned. Which are those themes in which UPSC awards maximum number of questions or provides maximum number of questions. And then on the basis of that, not just understanding what are the dimensions that UPSC usually asks related to each and every topic, but also possibly predicting some themes that are important for this year's examination, either because they have not been asked by UPSC in the previous years, or because the current affairs or contemporary issues are such that those particular themes have become important. Second important aspect is applied learning. You should not just know the definitions. You should not just know the pros and cons and various aspects of different values, but you should also understand the applied aspects of these particular values and concepts which you will be studying. For example, if you are studying the meaning of the term integrity, and if you know the definition of integrity, you should also know what is the importance of integrity for a civil servant. Why should a civil servant exemplify integrity in their behavior? How does it help civil services as an institution? How does it help society? How does it help in making the entire process of governance more ethical in nature? You need to know what are the initiatives that have been taken by the government in order to promote integrity within the government. Not just that, but we also need to know what are the challenges which have been faced in ensuring integrity within the government. So applied aspects of the theoretical concepts is also something which is equally important. Another important thing which you need to do is timed answer writing practice, and this is ideally something that should be done under supervision. If you can achieve this, then you would see there will be a drastic improvement in your answer writing abilities for the ethics paper. Also, ethics is about learning from discussion, deliberation with your teachers, with your peers. Ethics is a subject that has to be lived. If you have to truly write good answers in the examination, it's important that you can discuss your ideas with whoever is teaching you that subject, or how you can learn from the answers of your peers as well. So therefore, dedicated discussions on various aspects of ethics syllabus is also important to give you a broader perspective of the various questions that are asked in the ethics paper. And last, and a very important thing, is that you should have short and concise notes which would make revision easy for you before the examination. So we need to do a thematic analysis of previous year questions, identify the themes, dimensions that UPSC has been asking in the past, predict some of the themes that may be important for this year's examination, understand how those particular themes apply, know some of the examples associated with each of those themes, have timed answer writing practice under some kind of supervision, detailed discussions with teachers, detailed doubt solving with teachers and with the peers in order to broaden our perspective on various issues, and lastly, short and concise notes so that revision can become extremely successful and can become very efficient for each one of you. We are launching the mains advanced course here at VisionIAS for the benefit of all of you, and there is a module for the ethics paper also that would be launched. So for all of you who are looking for these things and to give a jump to your preparation for the upcoming mains, you may consider joining the same. I hope the challenges and the approach that I have talked about in preparation for the ethics paper would help you in devising your own strategy. And if you find it appropriate, we are always here to guide you. All the best.